elders at the Linkou Jing Books and Café get together to make beautiful Christmas tree ornaments. Jing encourages inmates in prisons to read Jing monthly and encourage writing skills to build confidence. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is Dai Headlines. Let's get started. The Linkou Jing Books and Café holds long-term care activities twice a week. During Christmas, the elderly were entertained by making Christmas tree ornaments. They even danced to music and even enjoyed a surprise visit by a special Santa Claus. Take a look. Santa Claus is carrying a large bag of gifts on behalf of volunteers.
Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have made these scarves for you. With the cold weather in Linkou, you can wear these scarves when going to long-term care classes. This is also a way of caring for the elderly.
The Linkou Jing Books and Café is part of the government's long-term care program as a level C location. This location during the Christmas holiday became extremely colorful.
This class taught us to make Christmas trees. I did it when I was a kid, and I'm almost 80 years old now.
As the party started, some music inspired people to do an aerobic dance.
I feel like I'm younger now.
Aerobic exercises train muscle endurance of the hands and feet.
After I came to practice, my spirits lifted and I can make more than 30 steamed buns and more than 40 dumplings. I think my spirits are good as my back once hurt and my feet were uncomfortable, but now I'm happy since I did these fitness exercises.
Going to these long-term care classes twice a week, perseverance helps the elderly keep as fit as they get older. After Typhoon Vamco struck the Philippines, Tzu Chi distributed consolation cash. Residents who received actively called on others to donate, fundraising 1 million Philippine pesos in total, which was distributed to more than 600 families in need. Here's more. After the typhoon, there were still many families who did not get help, but Tzu Chi's funds depend on people's donations, and the help could not be extended to all people. I'm encouraging every one of you to share your blessings with others. Is that okay?
How can the residents respond to the question asked? At the ad distribution scene, many recipients have inspired to donate into the Bamboo Coin Bank. And also the chairman of the Homeowners Association bought a few sign-off receipts.
Our Homeowners Association members are all very grateful and made the initiative to share the love with our neighbors who are not as fortunate to receive aid.
Residents spontaneously donate part of Tzu Chi consolation cash they just received, including the collection in more than 40 areas, and also called the Give Love on Christmas Day event on the Facebook. The donations raised will help 640 families.
Somehow the spirit of Christmas is alive in our village. Thank you to Tzu Chi Foundation.
Although the money we share was not as big as Tzu Chi had given us, we share it because we want other families to experience the same joy that we feel for this coming Christmas.
This year, Santa Claus in the Philippines, who do not wear red, also give immeasurable love and warmth.
With the pandemic still ongoing, hospitals in Malaysia are hard-pressed to find enough beds for all their patients. Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter donated 300 beds to Johor Health Department, with 21 local volunteers heading to Permai Hospital to assist with the delivery.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been waiting at Permai Hospital in Johor for the delivery truck to arrive. Inside the truck is 300 hospital bed sets donated to the hospital from Tzu Chi.
Currently we have 18 volunteers helping, but we probably will need more people later, because there are 5 trucks coming.
Johor, Malaysia is under its 3rd wave of COVID outbreaks, and the sports building at Permai Hospital is now being used as the local prevention center to battle the pandemic. With the lack of beds for patients, the arrival of delivery trucks came just in time to solve the problem.
Ya, untuk katil biasanya kita cukup ya, jika tidak ada.
Before the COVID pandemic happened, we had enough hospital beds for all our patients. But in this current situation, the demand has multiplied and we are really in need for these additional beds.
Yang sedia ada. Itulah kita mengharapkan sangat.
Volunteers formed a line to unload all the beds from the truck, and they also tested the beds to guarantee their function. After 3 hours of hard work, the 21 volunteers finally completed their mission to help patients be able to receive treatment in relative ease.
In Selangor, Malaysia, there are a lot of inmates at Kajang Prison who are in need of pandemic prevention supplies. The G volunteers delivered 2 truckloads of masks, gloves, and hand sanitizers to the prison to help prevent the spread of the virus.
Carefully unloading buckets of hand sanitizers from the truck, City Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter volunteers have delivered 2 truckloads of pandemic prevention supplies to Kajang Prison.
We brought masks, personal protection supplies, and hand sanitizers. We can see the hand sanitizers. Everyone will use hand sanitizers as they use it very frequently.
Currently, there are about 4,000 inmates in our prison.
Prison is a crowded place. Therefore, these protective supplies are very important to them.
Despite the sudden rain, volunteers deliver all the pandemic prevention supplies to the person in charge.
I know that Tzu Chi Foundation is actively helping people throughout Malaysia. The pandemic prevention supplies you provided are what we need right now. Your contributions in communities motivates us to fight the pandemic.
As the pandemic worsens, masks and hand sanitizers are much needed supplies in fighting the pandemic. Volunteers that help provide protection to the warden and inmates.
Tzu Chi Singapore chapter is donating 180 beds to the state of Kedah to be distributed to different hospitals in support of Malaysia's fight against coronavirus. Kulim Tzu Chi volunteers assisted in the transportation, doing whatever they can to make this mission a success.
The 108 beds donated to Kedah from Tzu Chi Singapore chapter have arrived in Butterworth on Tuesday. Various hospitals across Kedah arranged for pickup, and Kulim Tzu Chi volunteers also help with the transportation.
When we were moving, my pants got dirty, but no worries. I can wash it clean when I get home. I'm not tired at all.
Originally, the volunteers thought the task would be easy, but the challenges kept arising. Thus, the volunteers had to solve each obstacle one by one, just so the beds can be sent to the hospitals smoothly.
We were supposed to unload at the hospital, but there was a limited space and we weren't able to rent a forklift. So we contacted White Horse's manager to ask if he could lend us their forklift.
Due to the restrictions of our license, we can only use the forklift in our warehouse. So we unloaded the container in our warehouse. By doing so, we can use our forklift to unload the beds from the containers.
Having received Singapore Tzu Chi's assistance, the Health Bureau officer from Kedah has these words of thanks to say.
On behalf of the Kedah Health Bureau, I thank Tzu Chi for providing us with such a meaningful donation, and also thank you to White Horse Ceramics for their assistance. Tzu Chi is the best.
Singapore Tzu Chi's donation of beds has helped Malaysia meet the bed vacancy problem head-on. And although we are separated by a strait, we are able to feel the love from our neighbors.
Despite the pandemic this year, care activities held by Penghu Tzu Chi volunteers in prison continued. Apart from motivating inmates to read Tzu Chi monthly, volunteers also encourage them to write reports. At the year-end blessing ceremony, awards were presented to inmates with excellent writing skills, which built up their confidence. Take a look.
这师兄师姐们所做的一切都是所谓大爱，让我们可以去深深的去感触，然后出去之后能够有所改变。
Familiar figures appear in Penghu Prison every month. Of course, at the last month of the year, Tzu Chi volunteers are not absent. The annual year-end blessing ceremony allows the inmates inside to feel warm.
因为他们没有办法出去，那我们就走进。
Because they can't get out, so we walk in. We won't dislike them because of what they did. We uphold the spirit of no one in the world that I don't love to love them.
我们用这种心态来爱他们。
Since the beginning of the year, volunteers in Penghu have come to the prison to lead the Tzu Chi monthly reading club twice a month, so that the inmates who have made mistakes before have the opportunity to repent.
虽然我们现在还在里面服刑，但是
Although we're still serving sentence here, we still have the opportunity to get to know environmental protection. We're also doing a small-scale sorting of garbage. If we go out later, maybe we can work in this area.
或许我们就可以朝这个方向去努力。
On behalf of the Master and Tzu Chi volunteers all over the world, volunteers gave out the red envelopes of blessing and wisdom, which may become a family heirloom of the inmates in the future.
这是上人特别给我们的。
This is a special blessing given to us by the Master. It makes us feel very heartwarming. I'll keep it well. Since I'll be released on parole, I'll take it home to teach my child.
希望能够教育自己的小孩这样子。
At the end of the ceremony, the heartline was lightened, as if washing away everything in the inmates' past. Their future path was also illuminated with the candles in their hands.
Back in 1998, when Genoa City and Fujian flooded, Tzu Chi volunteers went to carry out disaster relief and help build the Tzu Chi Elementary School. This year, Tzu Chi went again to give out winter warmth. Some residents came to the distribution wearing cotton jackets given by Tzu Chi 22 years ago. Here's more.
祝愿各位乡亲在新的一年里身体健康、平安吉祥。
After 22 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have traveled back to the place they visited when it flooded. They brought supplies for 655 families in 2 towns.
商量好的要穿这个衣服过来领物资吗？他明年也在穿啊，年年都在穿，你每年都有在穿哈。这衣服很保暖哈。这个衣服很好。
That couple are wearing clothes given by Tzu Chi. I'm deeply touched.
真的是很感动。
Good health, little sister. We have affinities with you. I am too happy. I am deeply touched. I am so touched that I'm crying.
我们的很多受资助的。
Many people who have received the help will pay the love forward. After planting the seeds of kindness, there will be good results.
这个善因种下去以后，一定会结出善果的。
The elderly mother has come with her son to claim the supplies. The volunteers help her carry the supplies and comfort the mother who has to care for a physically challenged son.
不会笨啊！你看他知道感恩。
感恩知道，他讲话不会讲。
那现实是这样，我们只能面对，好好带他，是吧？
Besides delivering the supplies to home, volunteers have also brought warmth.
以后我们就是你的子女了。
Although the volunteers cannot see them every year, their bond and care for one another continue.
In Quanzhou, Fujian, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared winter supplies for sanitation workers at the end of the year. These items help keep them warm while working outdoors. Let's take a look.
我们做
做这些活动不是单纯的只是物质上的赠予，对他们整个爱的传递，让他们这个群体能够感受到爱，把他们也带向爱的这个道路上。
Taking a few hours off work, sanitation workers in Shishi City have gathered at a sports stadium to attend Tzu Chi activity.
Through this kind of activity, we can create a trend in society. Everyone can care for these sanitation workers so they can feel people's respect and love for them.
Sanitation workers maintain the beauty of the city working long hours. City volunteers have prepared food and winter supplies for them at the end of the year.
There is food and clothing. There are all kinds of supplies. I am very satisfied and happy. Thank you.
可以吗？可以吗？可以，很好。哇，好啊，很好。
暖和吗？
年轻10岁。
年轻10岁。
56-year-old Li Shiming, who's from Chongqing, has been a sanitation worker in Shishi for 13 years. It happens to be his birthday, and everyone delivers their birthday wishes for him.
生日过得怎么样？高兴，很满意啊。
我在活动中能感受到。
Through the activity, I have felt that Tzu Chi volunteers are doing this out of love. Everyone expresses their love and the love accumulates. As there is more love, this world will become a better place.
As the new year approaches, volunteers have delivered love and warmth to sanitation workers.
In Tianjin, China, Tzu Chi volunteers headed over to Jizhou to send winter warmth to scholarship recipients and care recipients. Take a look.
Bringing rice and cooking oil, volunteers carried out home visitations, sending warmth during this cold winter. Wang Jiangnian, who has lost both of his parents, is shy and does not speak much. Volunteers' sincere actions have touched the heart of Wang.
是不是？你看，是不是有很多人今天新认识的家人？是不是咱们的家人越来越多？
Meng Fanling, who is raised by a single parent, also expressed his gratitude with the encouragement from the volunteers.
Say it out loud, tell your father that you love him. And grandma, you must be filial towards your grandmother.
Although the weather is cold, but their hearts are full of warmth. For a volunteer, 3 generations from their family participated in sending warmth to the impoverished families.
We're responsible for bringing our granddaughter and joining the ranks of volunteers. If we do well, only is she able to participate.
My mom and grandma have dedicated a lot into volunteer work, so I decided to give it a try and see if I'm able to contribute a little.
In Tianjin's Jizhou, 129 families have received the supplies during this cold winter.
I'm heading into senior high school soon, and I need to study hard. I will also work hard so that I'm able to help others who are in need.
If everyone is able to participate in Tzu Chi activities and everyone is able to contribute a little bit of love, we can accumulate these love and turn it into great love.
As this year is coming to an end, it is hoped that we can all spread love, bringing warmth to every corner of society.
Tzu Chi year-end blessing ceremonies are happening all over Taiwan, and among the ceremonies, a group of former inmates vowed to take part. They began rehearsals half a year ago as part of a sutra study group, as they now hold their future in their own hands through this participation. Let's take a look.
我叫欧章胜，今年45了。
My name is Oh Zhangsheng, I'm 45. I've been doing construction work for about 16 to 17 years, but most of the time I was in prison. I've been in and out of it.
大部分的时间都关比较多啊，都进进出出这样。
来，我们面对这边，面对外，无量法门，这个一定要举得手很直，直下来。
These kids, sometimes I just get frustrated by them. You ask them to make a vow to stay clean, and they promise, but then in the next moment, they hide from you to smoke, chew betel nuts, or buy alcohol.
He didn't want to be here in his heart and didn't put his effort into the practice. There are lots like him. We all get tired. One minute he was making his vow, and the next he returned to the drug world. That was the most disappointing thing yesterday, but I had to take action, and I asked him to leave immediately, no matter who he was. I've walked astray for 30 years, so I must be determined. Because my parents only have this one son, if I continue to go astray, then it will sadden them, and I will have wasted the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters' time.
Yesterday, something happened. When Huang Weiling was cooking, he fainted and was sent to Chang'an Memorial Hospital. The doctors say he suffered from a brain hemorrhage. He was very worried. He told me that he might not be able to perform in the sutra adaptation. I tell him it's fine because our health is the most important thing. It's best not to lose one's health. This is the truth.
I don't know what my family would think of me now, but I want to prove to them and let them see that I'm taking a step in the right direction.
Being able to be a part of the onstage volunteer is really different. This might be the only chance I have in this life.
Our responsibility is very simple. Make sure this group of volunteers do well. You don't have to be a Tzu Chi person. When society has one less lost person, then it has gained an enlightened being.
The Global Jing annual meeting concluded after 2 days, encompassing 22 countries and regions with nearly 2,000 participants. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.